Okay, COVID-19, riots, looting, police brutality. Is this our new normal? Are we victims of our TV sets? Are we victims of radio talk shows? You know, it's easy to understand why some people get depressed or angry or confused by all the negativity that's displayed across our American TV sets. And you know, sometimes, especially during elections times, I just shake my head and I ask, why can't people just get along? And no sooner do I ask that question than some very confused person gets a gun and shoots a bunch of people. And then to add insult to injury, rather, a policeman, or cop on duty as they called him, says, the guy was having a bad day. The victims' families were in an uproar. Of course they were. They wanted justice, but they wanted their family members back. That's what they really wanted. You know, it feels like a never ending ticker tape of bad news. And if this information was all I fed into my mind, I would have a very difficult time getting up in the morning. So instead, I write my own ticker tape. I write my own headlines in my head, just laying in bed. Before I put my feet on the floor, I make up news headlines. Alert! Husband brings wife candy and flowers to show he loves her. Hear ye, hear ye. Neighbor cleans up the yard and builds a walkway for an elderly couple. Family holds birthday party and baby shower on the same weekend so their elderly aunt who lives out of state can attend both occasions. Our seventh principle tells us that we make our own happiness. Therefore, I choose to write my own headlines. I choose to see the world through all the loving people around me. Because when we focus our attention on our own headlines, we stop being victims. We release victimhood forever. While I was driving north to visit my family for these two parties, I saw a new kind of garden ornament. You know, 18 months ago, when I drove north, all I saw were political signs, and I try not to look at those. Last weekend, I saw a few of those, but they were really outshined by a sign that said, love thy neighbor. They came in all different flavors too, by the way. Some of the signs would say, love thy neighbor, and then give a whole long list of reasons why. Or some would say, love thy neighbors, and then they would do the different kinds of blank lives matter. A really cute one said, love your neighbor, y'all. Well, yesterday, Frank and I were driving to Lowe's, and we were on Highway 15, and we saw the best one. This is my new favorite. It said, love, hashtag, love thy neighbor, no exceptions. Isn't that sweet, short, and to the point? Love thy neighbor, no exceptions. You know, it's easy to love your neighbor if he mows your grass. It's easy to love your neighbor if he bakes you a cake. But it's not so easy to love a neighbor who complains about everybody and every dog on the block. And not only complains about them, but calls the sheriff's department and calls the homeowners association to complain. That's just not easy. Not easy at all. to say I love you to that person. But fortunately, Mother Teresa, and we're all familiar with Mother Teresa, she helps us to understand how to deal with this situation. So I'm going to read to you what she says. People are often unreasonable and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are honest, people may cheat you. Be honest anyway. If you find happiness, people may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today may be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. But give your best anyway. For you see, in the end, it is between you and God. It has never been between you and them anyway. Isn't that perfect? Miss that lady. Okay. But my goal today is to help you understand how I change my perception and my role in these worldly vibrations around me. Yes, I get saddened when I see children in cages and toddlers dropped over 9-foot fences and abandoned at the border. I get frustrated and enraged every time I see a human being shoot another human. Each time I hear about one of these atrocities, I say a prayer. I ask infinite intelligence to surround all these people and the entire situation in divine love. I ask for God to infuse the situation with kindness and understanding. And I ask God to remind my heart and my mind that I am not responsible for the cruelty. My job ends when I share my loving vibrations with the collective consciousness. Sometimes the hardest phone calls I've received come from a friend who's lost a loved one. And that loved one could be a spouse, a child, a parent, or even a pet. Love is love. And we don't love with our brains. We love with our hearts. We love with our souls. And sometimes the hardest part of healing after you've lost someone is for you to recover that part of you that went with them. Healing is not about fixing anything. Healing is remembering the wholeness that has always been inside of us. The wholeness that has always been inside of us. In the past, we attracted other people to replay our traumas. Today, as spiritualists, we are magnetically aligning with our soul's purpose. And now we draw people to us who are truly meant to have in our lives. The Buddha said, when someone is broken, don't try to fix them. You can't. When someone is hurting, don't attempt to take away their pain. You can't. Instead, love them by walking beside them in their heart. You can. Because sometimes what people need is simply to know they are not alone. I choose to write my own headlines. Attention, attention. Spiritualism lights my path. Hear ye, hear ye. Love thy neighbor, no exceptions. Bless you.